What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today's video, biceps. 6 exercises all about the arms. And the great thing about this is you can perform this as a circuit or, like me, 2 or 3 sets, progressing the weight on each set. Let's jump right in. Check out the first exercise. The first of our 6 dumbbell focused bicep exercises are standing dumbbell curls. And look, I know there are tons of different variations, and personally I switch up my variations every other workout. But for this one, we're going to perform them with a neutral grip, rotating out the wrist as we curl up, stopping just before the elbow pulls away from the body, and then really focusing on flexing the bicep hard. This is one of the best mass builders for the bicep. It hits that width of the bicep, keeps our arms at the side of the body, hitting the long head of that bicep, and allows us to move some nice heavy weight early on. 12 repetitions, maybe 15 for my warm-up set, but I wouldn't really drop down much lower than 10. So keep your rep range around about 10 to 12 reps. Slow cadence on the way back down. So squeeze up, pause, hold that contraction, flexing the bicep, lower that negative just a little bit slower, about 2 seconds down, full length, but don't let the biceps touch back down on your thighs. You want to keep tension in the arm throughout the entire working set. Second exercise is all about the incline bench curls. Now with this one, you don't want the bench too high up. You don't want to be sat too much in an upright position. So have it at about 35-45 degrees. A little bit lower than you might perform an incline chest press. Now the great thing about this is it really forces you to perform a strict dumbbell curl. You can't sway the body back and forth. Your shoulders are a few inches back from your hips. So there's no point creating that momentum to get that weight up. This is a super strict exercise. With this one, I like to keep my palms facing up throughout the entire movement. Now for the incline dumbbell curls, I like to perform this with palms facing up throughout the entire rep. Therefore, I feel all of that stress nicely across the width of the bicep. And you'll find that each of these 6 different bicep exercises, you'll feel it working in a slightly different way on the bicep. Look, let me get this straight from the beginning. With all of these bicep exercises, you're going to be working the bicep in its entirety. You're not working a portion of the bicep or just the upper region of the bicep. You are working the full bicep with every exercise. But these slight changes in the angles or the strictness of the exercise will force you to work in a slightly different way. Plus, we're affecting a little bit more of the long head, a little bit more of the short head, bringing some angles in. So that's what this workout and most of my workouts is all about. Making sure that we've got enough variables and employing all of these different factors, drop sets, strip sets, shocking principles to keep that intensity high on the muscle. For these 12 reps, keep them strict. And if you start to struggle around 8 or 9 reps, lower the weight. This isn't an exercise to bring your ego. Leave that at the door. You want to focus on quality and really being able to feel and engage that muscle on each and every rep. Exercise number 3, sticking with the bench, although we're out the front section here, concentration curls. Look, one of the classic, in my opinion, underrated exercise. This really is an exercise that you can get a heavy weight and focus on a great contraction in the bicep. Now with this one, you want to sit in a bit of a tripod position. Make sure you've got about a shoulder width distance between your knees, and you're going to place one hand down with the elbow supported against your knee. That's going to help keep you in that upright position. You're not swinging the arm back and forwards. You're pressing against that knee, and then as you curl that dumbbell up towards your shoulder, you really are using all of that effort and available width, if you like, on the bicep. With this exercise, it's all about keeping it strict and focusing on that contraction in the bicep. So perform them smooth, continual reps, little pause up at the top just to be able to flex that bicep, open the arm all the way down, getting that great stretch in the bicep, taking it through a full range of motion, and then curl it back up. And if you feel you're starting to bring some shoulder action in or sway at the torso, lower the weight. Your threshold should be reaching that 11th or 12th rep with a manageable weight whilst using good form. Otherwise, we're reducing the effectiveness of the bicep being involved in those exercises, and we start to bring in some shoulders, maybe some back, some other muscles that we're not focusing on during this workout. So don't go too heavy. Make sure your muscles are working for that exercise. Exercise number 4, incline bench preacher curl. This brings us around to the back of the bench, and for this, you want to bring the bench up to a little bit more of an incline. Not fully upright, but about 1 or 2 clicks back. And then position one arm flush over that back pad, wrist, elbow, and shoulder completely straight. You shouldn't be extended out or have a bend in the elbow. Again, this is so that we can focus on all of that width of the bicep, having all of that effort, that work effort to perform the task of curling that dumbbell up. So, curl that dumbbell up towards the shoulder without your elbow lifting off from the bench. If that does, stop just short of where that dumbbell is coming up towards the shoulder, because we want that bicep to be doing all of the work. If our front deltoid starts to come into play, that's going to lessen the involvement of the bicep. So keep it strict. Full range of motion, just make sure that when you do open out the arm, you're not resting the dumbbell on that bench. That's because we want to keep tension in the muscle throughout the entire set. 10, 12 reps, and then switch over to your other arm. You can use that free arm as support to help keep you square onto the bench. I find that by keeping my shoulder square facing forwards onto the bench, I actually get a much better feeling in my bicep than if I was to turn my body away and then try and use some of that as leverage to curl that dumbbell up. Keep it strict, keep it focused, you're gonna feel the results. All right, we've got 2 more bicep exercises left. And for this one, away with the bench, it's all about freestanding dumbbell curls. This one, a hammer curl variation. Now this, I actually bring my shoulder around in front of my body and curl that dumbbell up towards my opposite shoulder. The reason for this is I really feel it hits a little bit more my bicep, tricep, so it's all about that separation on this one. And like I said, we're working the bicep just the same as with every other bicep exercise. It's all or nothing principle. But these slight changes in where our joints, elbow, shoulder are positioned, it affects how that bicep works by contracting, shortening, and putting that weight up. So if you're stuck with performing the same exercises over and over again, how much is your body really going to change? You're going to have all of these different factors and constantly switch up your routine so your body doesn't become too familiar with it. So hammer curls, if you're used to doing them one at a time, straight out in front of you, try bringing it around in front, curling it up towards your shoulder, allowing that full length and range in the bicep, and then repeat with the other arm. Don't use momentum with these, don't swing that weight up. Smooth and controlled is the name of the game when it comes to really developing great biceps with good conditioning, good strength, and pretty decent size as well. All right, let's finish this off. Exercise number 6. For this one, these are one of my new favorites. They're called 𝗏𝗏 curls, and they look something like this. We start with palms forwards. We curl the dumbbells up without rotating. Once at the top, after we flex the bicep hard, you're gonna internally rotate at the wrist. So turning your palms facing down, keeping the upper arms at the same position at the side of your body, and then control and resist the flex as you lower the dumbbells back down. Now with this, you're really gonna feel a shift from your biceps into more of the forearm. Great combo to be able to work in, especially towards the end, because you're not gonna have too much strength on that negative, but you're definitely gonna feel it if you place them towards the end of the workout. Hence why I put them at the end of this bicep circuit. 10 to 12 reps, and each rep includes that downward negative and that curl back up. So make sure you're counting 1 for the negative and the concentric. And that's the end of our bicep focused routine. Like I said, tons of variation in there, tons of different angles, and for the most part, I stick with the same weight. But that's up to you if you really want to challenge yourself. And that's the end of today's workout. As always, you can check the description to get a full breakdown and time codes of each and every exercise. And now all that's left to do is get my protein. You know, we always talk about training, but nutrition is equally as important. It's also something that we do much more often throughout the day. We put food into our body. So make sure you're getting the right amount of protein. It's about 1 gram per pound of body weight is a good rule of thumb, and a decent amount of calories. You don't want too much if you're trying to cut down or even put on some size, but you also don't want to drop your calories down too low. A good range is about somewhere between 12 to 15 calories per pound of body weight to get your daily intake. More on that in another video though. Right now, this is all about my Built Bar. This is a great tasting protein bar. It's about 18 grams of protein, just under 200 calories, so not too heavy. It's a nice sort of in-between snack between post-workout and my meal when I'm back home. And the great thing about these, not only are the flavors crazy good, This one is double chocolate, so I get my chocolate fix in straight after my workout, something to look forward to. But it's real chocolate on the casing. So protein, real chocolate, 20 grams of protein, it's a win-win. So these Built Bars come in a range of different flavors. They're made right here in the USA. And if you haven't seen them on TV already or checked out their social media, I'm sure you'll see them around soon. For more information on this Built Bar and all the other flavors, including all their nutritional value, check the link in my description below. Use my code, get a nice little discount as well. And if you want to keep track of all of these workouts, hit that subscribe button, that notification bell. You'll be alerted every time we post a new video, whether it's here in the gym, talking about weight training, a specific muscle group, metabolic conditioning, or in the kitchen, having a look at nutrition. Until then, keep training hard, stay hungry. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.